Andy, we'll start with Garth Johnson. He's a broker with the Realty House, and he's also an expert on real estate owned or bank owned properties.
He's sold more bank owned properties than anybody that I'm aware of that I know in my sphere of influence, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on out there in that arena today. Being it's down about 75% year over year, that's got to be a little difference in the climate in your world, huh?
Well, it is a big difference, and I think we're kind of at a point where we're leveling off a little bit with the inventory as far as the real estate owned, bank owned properties are concerned. We've kind of been fluctuating in that 15 to 20% range of the inventory out there, and I don't think that's going to change too much. I mean, we're always going to have some defaults and foreclosures in the marketplace, but not to the extent that we had before with the huge, with the 50-55% of the inventory out there. And I think that's created somewhat of a problem in the market as far as inventory is concerned.
For sure.
Because buyers out there can't find inventory right now, and we've got, in some markets, about a 2.5 month supply of inventory.
Yep.
And so when there's a shortage of traditional sales and there's a shortage of foreclosure properties for sale, people then start looking for different avenues to buy a home, and that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today is properties that come up for auction.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
and that's an option for buyers out there.
Well, and I think you're feeling that crunch too, being that we're out there every day with the buyers and the sellers and helping that market figure out where it wants to go. It's been like a roller coaster. I mean, you've got the sellers that are out there trying to sell their traditional properties, but they're not bank-owned prices. And what we were just talking about before the show is that the bank-owned properties now are not necessarily always the best deals. They're finally seeing the market, recover, and they're getting more than fair market value in most cases. And so the buyers are searching for the deals, and so you're seeing traditional sellers, getting 93% of asking price. That's what a lot of the markets I've done this week is what the average receiving price is. So it's showing that people aren't afraid to go in there, and I hate to use the word lowball, but they're kind of lowballing the good offers even on fair-priced homes. Well,
and I think also what you're seeing too, which is a frustrating thing for a home buyer out there and for a selling agent, is that we're in the multiple offer market right now. And so houses come on the market for a day or two, and all of a sudden there's multiple offers on it, and then you get into a bidding war, and you get 10, 12, 15 offers on a property, and as a buyer that's looking for their first home or move-up house, whatever, that's very frustrating.
Oh, sure.
Because you don't know how much to bid, and if you lose one house after another because of that, because you don't want to pay maybe more than market, or you just get outbid, it can be a frustrating time.
Oh, so, sure. Well, you think about that too, Garth. I mean, we've got a couple of years back, we had our inventories where more than 50% of the market almost was bank-owned or distressed properties, and now that's receded 75%. And now you're sitting there with buyers that finally have the job they want. They've saved up their down payment. They're like, all right, I'm going to go get a bank-owned deal, and then they're not there. And I think that you're seeing some of this market fighting itself because it's acting like a seller's market and a buyer's market at the same time, depending on the pocket or neighborhood that you're in. It's completely different.
Yeah, and you're not seeing a lot of difference in prices between the bank-owned stuff and the traditional sale anymore. The market's too good, and the banks are no different than anybody else. They run a business, and they want to recover as much on that property as they can and price it at market value.
Mm-hmm. Well, Garth, you've been at this business a long time. Is this a different market as far as volume for bank-owned properties than you saw before the recession?
That information,
or is it about the same volume?
I think it's back to about the same volume right now, maybe a little bit more, and I think that's all going to figure itself out in the next year or two where we're going to be at as far as inventory is concerned. But the foreclosure market's changed from a legal standpoint as far as initiating foreclosures now and homeowners' rights and those types of things. Now they have they have to offer them, they can't foreclose after so many months now, and they have to, have some type of a workout mediation thing with the homeowners as an attorney, those types of things. So it takes longer to foreclose on a property now than it used to, and the homeowners have more rights than they used to. So the market has changed. I just don't think there's going to be as many properties coming to sale anymore as far as my business is concerned, because they're going to be offered mediation, short sale, workout, all kinds of different options.
And I have been seeing that, Garth, that even in the short sales I work on, that the lenders are still trying to push people to have some sort of a workout and so forth. Well, one other thing that you and I and Andy we were talking about before the show is this new thing, the online and the property auctions that you're seeing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's an avenue that lenders are using in today's marketplace, and they've been using it for years. Some lenders believe in putting their properties out for auction, for bid, after so many days on the market, after they've exposed it for 120, 150 days on the market. And some lenders take the approach where they're going to put them on right away before they even are exposed to the market. They'll put them on MLS and then they immediately go to auction. And so, yeah, that's an avenue that some lenders are using right now, and it's an option for buyers to purchase a home through an auction where they can't find it in the traditional market on MLS, for example.
Well, throwing this out to both you at Garth and Andy, as far as buying an online buyer, what would you tell someone that's thinking about becoming an online auction buyer? What should they do? Do they need a real estate agent and so forth?
Well, most of the auction companies cooperate with the real estate agent, so the process isn't going to change that much from buying a traditional home in a traditional sale. The difference is that you're either going to be on site making an offer through the auction, or you're going to be doing it online on a website bidding. But it's probably even more important, it is important, but more important in an auction process to have an agent, so you make sure that you're doing your due diligence on the property. There's a lot of different variations on a property that's up for auction. Some of them you may not even get to look at because they might still be owner or tenant occupied or an eviction. And those can be a little bit scary, because if you don't get to look at the inside of a home before you buy it and close on it, that could be a real, that's not an option for a lot of people. That's more for maybe a savvy investor type.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some suitability requirements there. That sounds somewhat scary to me. I know, Andy, before the show you were talking about some of the latest, last few times when you had buyers and in auctions, and some of the things you were looking for and so forth, and helping them.
Well, absolutely. And I mean, I think the big thing beyond just getting the agent to do the market analysis is to get the agent's crew of contractors and repair people to come out there with you on that actual appointment to take a quick look. I mean, most contractors, if they know they can get the work, will come with us. And what happens is that gives us not only an educated view as far as to what it's worth when it's completely fixed up, but we also know what to bid because we know what the repairs are going to cost us. And without digging into the walls, or if there's something there, then if we can see there may be mitigation issues behind the walls or whatever. That's when we then make the lower offers, and actually move really cautiously. So.